Now, we don't want to put the fear of God up you here, but a simple walk out in the countryside could cause serious illness. That's because being bitten by a tick has the potential to infect you and your dog or your family with Lyme disease. We'll speak to the England Rugby World Cup winner, Matt Dawson. After 8 o'clock, he's had all kinds of problems because of a tick bite. It is a bacterial infection, and it can have devastating consequences. Ticks that may cause Lyme disease are found all over the UK, and Lancashire's grassy and wooded areas are high to medium risk, we're told. So what is it like to live with it? I believe it's difficult to get it actually diagnosed in the first place. Well, Sophie Ward from St Michael's on Wyre joins us this morning. Sophie, good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us what happened to you.
Basically, I got bitten in Beijing. I'd gone out to watch the Olympics to support my friends out there because I used to be a big swimmer. And we did some sightseeing while we were there, and we went to go and see the pandas. I got up close with the panda and sort of came away, started with a fever, couldn't understand it. Got 2 days worth of antibiotics when we called out the doctor. And felt fine, and then came home 4 years later, started with migraines, food intolerances, reoccurring water infections, sore throats, and my health just declined from there.
So did you know that you'd been bitten by some form of tick?
No, I had no rash or bullseye rash or anything. I just had the fever, and obviously when you're abroad, you just think, oh gosh, I've eaten something or I've picked something up. So I just put it down as a fever, and obviously I got better, so I thought I was fine.
And it took a long time, didn't it? Like in a lot of cases, to actually get properly diagnosed.
Yeah, it took me 9 years, and it was a long 9 years.
9
very
years.
Long 9 years. Mhm.
So all through that time,
consultant to consultant.
Yeah. So all through that time, what did you do? Did we just kind of passed around?
Yeah, basically. And obviously I was treated, so if I went in with migraines, they tried to treat my migraines, or if I went in with water infections, I was treated for those separately. They never really connected the dots. And obviously, as my health declined as well, and I wasn't getting any better, they were questioning whether I was crazy and if it was all in my head. And then, of course, when a medical professional tells you that, you're like, oh my gosh, Sophie, get a grip. Maybe it is not all in your head. But deep down, you know how poorly you feel and how rubbish you feel.
So when you were finally diagnosed, was it a bit of a relief if you've been going through that for the past 9 years?
It was. At the time, I just burst into tears because my consultant was said, you're very, very poorly. I don't know how you still sat up in front of me. You are very, very weak and you're not very well. And, for so long, I'd known that I'd felt so rubbish, but I'd had no answers. So now I had a final, answer in front of me. But at the time, I'd never heard of Lyme disease. I didn't know anything about it. And I just thought, quick, dose of antibiotics and I'll be good to go. I'll be back. And at 24, after battling for so long, I was like, yes, I'll get my life back. I'll be able to do normal things again. And obviously that wasn't the case.
So how are you now?
Every day is a battle. Every day is a struggle. I get new symptoms every day, and I have to, they differ every day because the bacteria is always shape-shifting. It's always changing. So one day I could have a really, really bad migraine, and the next day, I could have bad stomach pains, or my chest could be tight and I could feel like I can't breathe. I'm in and out of hospital all the time. I go for weekly ECG bloods to check my liver and my kidneys to make sure they're all okay and functioning okay. And, it's a daily battle. It's basically like having a full-time job, managing my health.
Wow. This has completely changed your life, hasn't it?
Definitely. And obviously at 24, it's a lot to take on because you just want to be going out, and enjoying life and living life to the full.
Do you think enough people know about the dangers of this?
No, definitely not. Obviously, I was only diagnosed last year and I knew nothing before I was diagnosed. I hadn't really heard about it at all. And even speaking to people now, they're like, oh, I've heard about it, but you can get treatment, or, it's not too bad, it's just by a tick. And it's like, yeah, you can get treatment if it's caught early, but of course, if left, it can be really detrimental. And, like, obviously you're speaking to Matt Dawson in an hour's time, and, he had 2 heart operations and he was a fully fit athlete. So, anyone can be struck down by this, and it can affect them in lots of different ways, and, it can be detrimental.
Okay. Well, Sophie, thank you very much for talking to us today. That's Sophie Ward from St Michael's on Wire, who was out in China and bitten by some form of tick. And has, the past 9 years has been going through hell, by the sounds of it. And as you mentioned, we will be speaking to Matt Dawson, the World Cup winning rugby union player, all about his life, how his life has changed since being eventually diagnosed with Lyme disease. If you have had similar experience, you want to talk to us, it's always best when you get in touch. 0800 7833 583. Right now, 16 minutes after 7.
The county's radio station.